Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Picks on Net, NHL Picks and Stats. I'm your host, Terry Edelmann at TPicks over on X, and of course, Premium, our expert handicapper over on Picks and Parlays. Here with the Tuesday NHL breakdown, 13 games on the slate today. So, quite a few games to go over as normal. I'll be breaking down a little over half the games individually, and then we'll have the rest of the games on the slate segment at the end of the show going over the rest of the slate. But before we get into today's slate, we'll start the show as we normally do, which is taking a look back at what happened yesterday. But before we get to that, make sure to head over to picksandparlays.net and right now, I'm rocking and rolling in the NHL, the number one handicapper on the site for the 2025-2026 season, up almost 74 units since November 17th, and up almost 39 units since March 2nd. 13-1 side and total run, absolutely red hot over on the website. So make sure to go and check that out. But taking a look at what happened yesterday, Will Cooley, over half a point, unfortunately did not cash. The Rangers scored 6 goals, but a lot of it was done with that top power play. So Will Cooley, unfortunately, not involved and was unable to get a point. And then the show best bet, which was Dylan Cousins' anytime goal. The Senators only able to score 2 against Lankinen and the Canucks. Unfortunately, Dylan Cousins was not one of those. And then I split my premium plays with Columbus money line being a heartbreaking loss. So close, but a really bad overtime for the Blue Jackets. And then Ottawa puck line was a nice winner. Very close winner. I kind of expected it to be a little bit less sweaty of a 2-0 win, but the Senators got the job done, and that's ultimately what matters. But we'll head into the chat here and see what people are thinking. Bink Bink thinks Let's Go Red Wings plus 110 is your best bet. There you go. Gilt is saying LGRW, Let's Go Red Wings, so Detroit Red Wings. That's kind of their short form. Good morning, Terry. Hey, Brian. How's it going? Nice to see you. Yesterday was rough. Yeah, it was such a small slate and not really a lot of good games. We've got 13 games today, and there's quite a few good games. It would have been nice to have a couple of these on yesterday's slate, but I'm not in charge of the NHL schedule making, so I can't do anything about it. But good day, Terry. Finally made it to the live. Love the slate. Thank you, Captain Bra. Yeah, we've got a great slate to go over. Let's go to, hey, Rich, nice to see you. Sharks team total over 2.5, best bet on the board. That's a really interesting game. We're going to get to it, of course. Got to run. I'll catch the show later. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Addison. Hi, Terry. Hey, Shawnee. How's it going? We'll be talking about your Sabres soon. Need 2 anytime goal scorers. What are we thinking? Well, I just so happen to have 2 anytime goal scorers that I'm giving out on today's show, both in the same game. So it's coming up soon. You'll hear about it soon. Tuck it's his 600th game, and he's playing against Askarov, going for career 195th goal. Well, that is great info, Stephen. I really appreciate that. We will be talking about Alex Tuck in a few minutes. Down and streak, been a while. Oh, no. Oh, Doan. Yes, Doan's been hot. That and so is Osland. But we'll talk about that game. Gold Caulfield will score tonight. All right. We'll definitely see. And we'll be getting to that game shortly as well. But obviously, before we get to today's slate, if you're looking for premium plays, head over to picksandparlays.net, direct link pnp.buzz/te. Get all my premium plays, all Trent Bets NHL, all of our NHL plays for a full week for $70. It's a great deal. Over on the website, I've got 3 premium plays and then 2 premium player props. And I'll be giving out one of the player props in that 3 player prop package here on the show. So Lots of premium plays over on the website today. Go and check it out. But we will jump into Nature's Goal. All right, we'll be talking about him later on in the slate. But first game up is the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Blue Jackets plus 200 road dogs. The Lightning minus 245 home favorites, and a total 6.5 here in our first game. Taking a look at goaltenders here. Andre Vasilevsky likely for the Tampa Bay Lightning. No big surprise there. He's struggled recently. Now, did bounce back in his last game against Toronto, but both his wins recently have been against Toronto. But against the other teams that he's faced, he's gone 0-3 with a 5.17 goals against average and an .813 save percentage. Those are not Shesterkin numbers at all. But other than those 3 games, the 2 games against Toronto, he was very good. Columbus went with Jack Reeves yesterday, so it should be Elvis Merzlikins here in net today. When I look at this one from a side perspective, I'm tempted with the Blue Jackets, especially the plus 1.5 at minus 115. I think there's a ton of value there. Tampa Bay will be without 2 crucial defensemen. It just continues to happen. Eric Chernak will not be playing here, and Taylor Radish will be at his father's funeral. Is either today or in these next couple of days. So he's taken time off to be with family to mourn his father. So he will not be in the lineup. Darren Radish having a really great season for Columbus. For Tampa. So that's a big loss. And when I look at the Lightning, I just don't think they should be this big of favorites against this Columbus Blue Jackets team. The Blue Jackets able to keep games. Yes, they've been losing some games recently, but they've been losing them in overtime, which means they've been cashing the plus 1.5. I think there's great value with the plus 1.5. I also think we get goals here in this game. So if you wanted to look at the over as well, not sure what Columbus team total over is, but there might be some value with that. Looking at previous games between these 2 teams, Columbus 3-2 in the last 5 meetings, but the home team is 9-1 in the last 10. 5 of the last 6 going over 6.5. So high-scoring games between these 2 teams with the home team finding a way to win. I do think Tampa likely gets the win here, but I think it's close. Here between these 2 teams. Taking a look at player props here. Point-wise, with value, Charlie Coyle, 6 games in a row with a point. He's been absolutely red hot, and now on that top power play for Columbus. Sean Monahan has a point in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 154. A lot of value with Monahan with his point prop. Goal streaks, Brandon Hagel and Corey Perry have both scored in back-to-back games, plus 185 for Hagel, plus 375 for Corey Perry. And then assist streaks, Coyle, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 160 with an assist. Marchenko, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 130 with an assist here in this one. But we'll jump into the chat and see what people are thinking here. First period, both teams to score whatever the number is. I could see that. I have several. Another thing. Tampa just lost 8-7 to Buffalo. And both teams blew multi-goal leads during that game. I really think we are going to get focused Tampa here, to be focused here in this game to try to bounce back after that loss. But I still think we're going to get goals, so I like that. Several line combos. I don't want to clog up the chat. I'll only give out my single plays. All good, Captain Brian. Hey, if you want to put out your line combos in the after the show is done, then everyone can see them. That would be great. Post them. What's up, Terry? I have nothing in the Lightning game right now. Yeah, it's should be an interesting one. Blue Jackets 13-2-3 since bonus's arrival. Exactly. That's why I do not think they should be this big of an underdog. Okay. Charlie Coyle point, Fantilli point, and anytime goal. I like it, Captain Bry. I like it. Columbus covers the over 6.5. I can agree with that. I think we get goals here in this one. But on to our next game, we've got the LA Kings and the Boston Bruins. The Kings plus 125 road dogs, Boston minus 150 home favorites, and a total of 6 here in this one. If you guys watched the video I did here on the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel last night, then you know one of my plays here in this game. If not, well, it's okay. You're gonna find out here shortly in this one. So taking a look at goalies here between these two teams here. Bear with me for a second. Darcy Kemper unconfirmed, should be starting on the second night of a back-to-back. Jeremy Swayman confirmed for the Boston Bruins. He's been really good. 2-1 in his last 3 starts, 1.34 goals against average, and .946 save percentage in his last 3 games. The LA Kings obviously coming off that overtime win. Both of these two teams coming off an overtime game in their last game. The LA Kings winning 5-4 and Boston losing 5-4 in overtime on the road. This Bruins team is such a home and road split team. It's really crazy how great they've been at home, but how they just continue to struggle on the road. Now they're back at home, minus 150 home favorites. Normally, you guys know, minus 130, minus 135. I don't really like to go past that number. So normally, seeing a minus 150 favorite like this, the Boston Bruins, who are 4-1-1 in the last 6 meetings between these two teams, normally I would take Boston in regulation in this spot. However, I'm not doing that. We're going the complete opposite. Give me the draw, plus 310. Why am I taking the draw here in this game? Well, both teams, as I mentioned, just coming off an overtime game in their last one. 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams have gone to overtime. So have 8 of the last 14 between these two teams. For whatever reason, really close games going overtime between these two. But that's not all. 7 consecutive games between the two teams in Boston have all gone to overtime. I don't think I've ever seen a streak like that. 7 games in a row in Boston, these two teams have gone to overtime. Give me the draw, plus 310. And just looking at it too, both of these two teams are in the fight of their lives for a playoff spot. Boston currently holds the final spot, but Columbus 2 points behind them. Ottawa 3 points behind them. Boston's playoff spot is not safe under any circumstances. And the LA Kings currently have 66 points, tied with San Jose for the final spot outside of the playoffs. San Jose is 2 games in hand, and then they're 1 point behind Seattle for the final wildcard spot. So both of these two teams are fighting for their playoff lives. If these two teams are tied in the third period, in the last few minutes, neither team is going to want to make a mistake and risk not getting that crucial 1 point. Because obviously both of these teams want to win this game for sure, but that 1 point is crucial in this playoff race. So with the heavy history between these two teams, with the circumstances, give me the draw, plus 310 here in this game. But that's not all. Give me Pavel Zacha, over half a point, minus 118. As I mentioned earlier, I have a 3-player point package up on the site. This is one of the 3 players. The other 2 are plus money point props that you can get over on the site. But why am I taking Pavel Zacha? Well, I was looking at taking him in the last game, and I didn't, and I really regretted it because he scored a hat trick. Pavel Zacha has been absolutely red hot for Boston. He's got a point in 5 games in a row, 6 of his last 7. Obviously, as I said, a hat trick in his last game. Really great at home. A point in 6 of his last 9 home games. He's just red hot right now. So we'll take him. Pavel Zacha, over half a point, minus 118 here in this one between the Kings and the Bruins. Taking a look at some other players on streaks here. Other than Zaka, Anze Kopitar is a point 4 games in a row, minus 115. He definitely has some value. Victor Arvidsson has a point 3 games in a row, plus 117. He's got some value. Scott Lofton has played really good for the LA Kings, scoring in back-to-back games. His point prop is minus 105, and the goal prop is plus 450. So if you were looking to back Scott Lofton, I would take him to score because there's just a huge difference there in the goal prop. Pavel Zacha has also scored in back-to-back games. So if you wanted to look at him for a goal prop. McAvoy and Zacha both have power play points in multiple games in a row. McAvoy 3 games in a row, Zacha back-to-back games. The Kings do not have a good penalty kill. So likely Zacha will get, if he gets a point, will get it probably on the power play. Panarin an assist in 4 of his last 5, but minus 135, no value. Charlie McAvoy, over half an assist, minus 108. 3 games in a row, 8 of his last 10 with an assist. And has an assist in 3 of his last 5 against the LA Kings. If I was getting to another prop in this game, it would be Charlie McAvoy over half an assist, but we'll stick with Zacha and we'll stick with the draw. Plus 310 here in this one. Kempe Kopitar point each, plus 135. Not a bad look. They've both been hot recently, so not a bad look at all. Charlie McAvoy assist, minus 106. I like it, Captain Bry. Minus 127. Maybe you're not able to shop around, but definitely shop. This is a great reason if you are able to shop around because you can find it for minus 106 and then minus 127. So a huge difference in different spots. Columbus spread 5.5. I'm not sure, Shawnee, I'm sorry. It's okay. Bruins money line is a parlay piece. Yes. If you want to back the Bruins, I would take their money line as a parlay piece. Right on, Robert. No in regulation here. Definitely not. I like the draw as well. Awesome. Of course you do. Me and Captain Bry, you'd think we're the same person. Had the Kings yesterday plus 132. Very nice. You were against me and you got it. Nothing in this game so far. Really? Okay. Geeky scored 2 versus LA in November against Darcy. All right, there you go. Anything on Geeky? Not personally, but as Terry Ray Vegas just said, he's probably a good look here. And the over 6 for Robert. Yeah, hey, give you a 3-3 score, and you're all set if you can get that. The LA Kings have been, now normally, you would think the LA Kings as an under team, but they've been much more high scoring recently. And of course, since DJ Smith has taken over, they're also high scoring. So definitely no underplay here for me. The recent meetings, 3 overs, 2 unders, and 1 push, but 3 of the last 4 in Boston have gone under 5.5 between these two teams. However, these two teams only face each other once per year in Boston. So not as important as against division rivals. Boston money line, Geeky anytime goal. All right, people seem to like Geeky a lot today. Let's go here. Let's see here. Hasn't scored in 2 games. He's been kind of alternating, like scoring, 2 goals, no goal, scoring. So hasn't really been super consistent, but has scored in back-to-back games against LA, 2 goals in the most recent game. So not a bad look, especially with the Kings power play. Maybe he gets a power play goal. So not a bad look. But on to our next game, the San Jose Sharks and the Buffalo Sabres. The Sharks plus 165, road dogs. Buffalo minus 200 home favorites, and a total 6.5 here in this one. And this game is very interesting. So looking at previous meetings between the two teams, Buffalo has won 5 of the last 6. And then for a total 6.5, 6 overs, 4 unders. 2 of those games finished with 6 goals that stayed under. So has been high scoring games between these two teams in the past. The San Jose Sharks coming into this game Back-to-back overtime losses and lower scoring games. 3-2 overtime loss against St. Louis, who has been a complete under team. We'll talk about them in a little bit. And then the Islanders, 2-1 overtime loss to them. The previous game was a 7-5 win against Montreal. Then they had a 2-1 overtime win against Winnipeg, and then a 5-4 win against Edmonton. So the Sharks kind of all over the place when it comes to the total. The Buffalo Sabres, they're kind of alternating overs and unders. 6-2 win against Tampa, 3-2 against Vegas, 5-1 against Pittsburgh, 3-2 against Nashville, and then 8-7 in the last game against Tampa Bay. When I look at this one here, there was much more value with the Sharks puck line. It was around minus 110 last night. So there's been some line movement here in this one. I cannot step in front of this Buffalo Sabres team. I won't do it. I will not do it. If you've been betting against the Buffalo Sabres, you haven't been doing too well. And how do I know that? Because I've been backing the Sabres a lot and making a ton of money. This spot, though, they just beat Tampa 8-7. This is a bad spot for Buffalo. It is. But Buffalo's had bad spots. They've had a lot of them recently where it should be a bad spot for the Buffalo Sabres. But they end up getting the job done anyways. So not going against the Sabres here. The total, I do think we get goals here. So I would lean with the over 6.5. But I've got 2 goal scoring props. This is the game. First, Macklin, Celebrini, anytime goal, plus 140. Celebrini scored in 4 of his last 5 games. Has only played in Buffalo once. He scored in that game. And he's been shooting the puck a lot recently. At least 4 shots on goal in 6 of his last 9 games. And at least 3 shots on goal in 7 of his last 9 games. So Celebrini shooting the puck a lot. And scoring in recent games. Like I said, not the best spot for Buffalo. I think the Sharks will get some offense here in this one. But I do think Buffalo will get some offense as well. So we'll go with Macklin, Celebrini, anytime goal here to start. And you guys mentioned him earlier, Alex Tuch, anytime goal, plus 160. I love that it's his 600th game. That he's going for. Bear with me for a second. Here. Let's bring it up. Yeah, so it's his 600th game, and he's going for his 195th goal. So great stats there, Steven. I appreciate that. Those didn't even factor into why I'm taking him. But those are just extra bonus stats. Why am I taking Alex Tuch here? Well, he scored in 4 of his last 6 games heading into this one. 2 goals in the last game against the Lightning. And he's had a lot of success against San Jose, scoring in 5 of his last 6 games against the Sharks. So a lot of success against the Sharks. Scoring recently, plus 160, anytime goal for Alex Tuch to score here in this one. Other players, because there are definitely other players. Josh Doan has a point 4 of his last 5 games, minus 108. On the same line with Noah Ostlund, who has a point 4 games in a row, plus 149. Will Smith, Rasmus Dahlin on point streaks, but no value. Better as parlay pieces. Zucker has a point in 3 of his last 5 games, minus 120. Zucker's been playing well. Celebrini and Tuch, obviously on the goal streaks. Zucker scored in back-to-back games as well, plus 250. And then Michael Misa, Tage Thompson, both 3 of their last 5 games with a goal. Josh Doan has also scored in back-to-back games, plus 250. And then assist streaks, Noah Ostlund has an assist in 4 games in a row, plus 258. Dahlin assist is a good parlay piece. It's minus 150. But 4 of his last 5 games with an assist and 5 of his last 6 against the Sharks. Dahlin has an assist, so a good parlay piece here. But Tuch goal and Celebrini goal here in this one. Peterka or Dahlin over half a point, or Kreb. I like Dahlin. Sharks money line plus 165. Not bad. McLeod assist plus 110. Sharks team total over 2.5, minus 117. First period, both teams to score whatever the number is. There you go, limited. Best of luck. Hey, Terry. Hey, Chad. I'm taking Sharks plus 1.5 at minus 150 here. A bit of a letdown. Yeah, I agree. And then it's good that you're taking the plus 1.5 because if the Buffalo Sabres do find a way, which they tend to do, as long as it's within a goal, you'll be good. Boehm assist, Macklin goal. Shark props haven't been nice to me lately, so I'll just take their best player to score. I like it. Peterka seems to like to score against the Sharks, does he? Let's see here. Peterka is not in this game. Peterka plays for Utah now. So yeah, there we go. That's why I can't find him on the list. I just started looking for him, and it's like, hold on a second. Josh Don't point as well. Yeah, he's been on fire. Yes, good stats, Steven. Yeah, Peterka. Tuck assists? No. I want him to score. So he'll probably assist. There you go, Sweet Pickles. I mean, he can do both for us. We'll both be happy. I've been cashing in on the Thompson-Tuck line combo for a point, but it's usually around minus 135. All right, a little pricey there, but hey, if you've been cashing, Captain Bright, keep going. But we'll continue on along with our next game, which is the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. The Leafs plus 145, road dogs. Montreal minus 170, home favorites, and a total 6.5 here in this one. Montreal has won back-to-back games between the two teams. Toronto had won 9 of the previous 10. So Toronto had the Habs number for quite a while. 3 of the last 5 going over 6.5. 2 of the last 4 going to overtime. So some closer games here between these two teams. When I look at this one here, the value is with Toronto, but I don't think Toronto wins this game. The Leafs are just a mess right now. What else can you say? Obviously, they're not making the playoffs this year. They waved the white flag, but the players have waved the white flag a while ago. Headed into the Olympic break on a 6-game losing streak, losing 6-3, 2-1, 6-3, 4-1, 7-4, 5-2. Just not playing well. Then on the final game before the Olympic break, 3-2 shootout win against Vancouver, which if you're beating Vancouver in the shootout, that's not that impressive. They've got the worst record in the league. You should be taking care of business against Vancouver. Then back-to-back wins against Calgary and Edmonton. Leafs fans starting to think, okay, we're back. But no, they're not back. The Leafs have now lost 7 in a row since then. I was not believing in them in that 3-game road trip. 4-2 loss to Tampa, 5-1 loss to Florida, 5-2 loss to Ottawa. Back-to-back shootout losses against Philly and New Jersey. So trying to get a win, unable to, and now 6-2 loss against the Rangers, 5-2 loss against Tampa Bay in their last game. The Leafs just not playing well right now whatsoever, especially when it comes to goaltending. The Montreal Canadiens, they've also had some issues with goaltending recently. The Habs coming off a 4-3 win against LA, back-to-back losses before that, 6-5 shootout loss to Anaheim, 7-5 loss to San Jose, 6-2 win against Washington before that. So the Habs scoring goals, but giving up goals here in this one. First 2 meetings between the two teams were 5-2 games, wins for the home team. But the most recent win, a 2-1 shootout win for Montreal. When I look at this one here, I would say that I think we get a more of the 5-2 type score. But both teams have been going to overtime in 2 of their last 5. And have gone to overtime against each other in the past. So this could be a closer game. Obviously, Montreal coming off the California road trip. So first game back home after that. So we'll see what happens here in this one. Player props with streaks point-wise, nothing. Nothing point-wise. Goal streaks, Matthias Maccelli. Scored in 3 games in a row, plus 390. He is playing really well. It just sucks that that's for Leafs fans that he's basically the only one really playing well right now. Nylander scored in 3 of his last 5 games, but did not score in the last one. Caulfield, 3 of his last 5 games, didn't score in the last game. Nick Suzuki has scored in back-to-back games for the Habs. Power play point, while Toronto has a good penalty kill, Lane Hudson, Nick Suzuki both have power play points in 3 games in a row. Yuri Slafkovsky, 3 of his last 5. And then Yuri Slafkovsky has an assist in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 105. Definitely some value there with Slafkovsky assist here in this one. Montreal team total over 3.5. I like that. I'm not sure what the odds are, but I think that's a good look. Michelli anytime goal, Caulfield anytime goal. Good looks, Captain Bride. Michelli definitely has a lot of value. And I have quite a few, I think 10 plays total today, so not making my card, but I do think it's a good bet. Caulfield anytime goal, there you go. Habs puck line, plus 145. Slafkovsky, goal, plus 200. All right. Canadians in regulation, or -1. I don't like laying -1.5. All right. Cole Caulfield versus Toronto Day. Cover 4+ shots and goal versus Leafs. 9 of the last 11 meetings. 9-2. -104. Good luck, Terry Ray. I like it. Obviously, Caulfield's going to be motivated against this Leafs team. This is the Habs' biggest rival. Now, some people might say Boston, so hey, well, not going to get into an argument over that, but one of their biggest rivals, I guess you could say here in this one. But moving on along to our next game. Why did I choose this one to talk about? Well, because I think it's a really interesting game here. The Islanders, -125 road favorites. The Blues, plus 105 home dogs, and a total 5.5 here in this one. St. Louis, 4-2 in the last 6 meetings between the two teams. The home team has won 4 of the last 5, and 3 consecutive under 4.5s between these two teams. These two teams play each other, don't get a lot of goals. Looking back at the last 5 meetings, 4 unders, 1 over. The over was a game that finished with 6 goals. So just barely squeaked by. St. Louis, 9-3-1 in the last 13 at home against the Islanders. The way I look at this game here, under 5.5 and the Blues money line. They are both heavy leans for me here in this one. Why would I be looking at either of those things? Well, Joel Hofer. That's all you really need to say. He has been absolutely fantastic. 4-0-0 with a 1.00 goals against average and a 962 save percentage since the Olympic break. He's been absolutely fantastic. 2.69 goals against average, 903 save percentage, and 5 shutouts. Sorokin on the other side just stopped 30 of 31 shots in his last game, a 2-1 overtime win against the Sharks. Low scoring game there in that one. And the Blues have been an under machine lately. The Islanders, though, have been a little bit more higher scoring, are coming off a 2-1 overtime win against the Sharks, but their previous 4 games, 5-3, 5-1, 5-4, 4-3. So some very high scoring games, but face teams like Columbus, Florida, Anaheim, and the Kings, who are all high scoring teams recently. The Blues, 3-1, 3-1, 3-2, 3-2, 4-0. So very low scoring games. I wanted to see if Hofer was in net, and it looks like he is likely here in this one. So under 5.5, a heavy lean. The Blues money line, a heavy lean, and I think this could be another game we could see overtime. So my guess is we get a 3-2 overtime win for the Blues, or 2-1. I could see it being 2-1 as well. So those are my thoughts here in this one. Looking at player props, Thomas is on a 6-game point streak. 4 of his last 5 games with an assist, plus 115, and 4 of his last 5 games with a goal, plus 320. Definitely has value. Tony D'Angelo, a point, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 146 here in this one. Goal streaks, other than Thomas, Bo Horvat has scored in back-to-back games. Jimmy Snuggerud has scored in back-to-back games. And then assist streaks, other than Robert Thomas. Barzal is an assist in 4 of his last 5 games. Blues defensemen Cam Fowler and Philip Broberg both have assists in 3 games in a row. Jimmy Snuggerud, Matthew Schaefer both have assists in back-to-back games. Heading into this one. But we'll see what people are thinking here. Matthias Michelli scored the first goal in each of the Maple Leafs' last 3 games. Okay, so he's not only scoring, he's scoring early. Great stat there, Charles. Shen playing recent former team, it seems like he scores every 9 games if you look at his last 20 games. All right. Is this Shen's first start? Pass. Yep. Okay, so playing his former team. Thomas, anytime goal, Snuggerud point. There you go. Blues coming back from a 4-game West Coast trip could be a letdown. Yes, but luckily they're not too far from the West Coast. So, yeah, it's potential. Hofer over saves. He's been just great. He's been great. You just got to trust the Islanders to shoot a lot. That's the only thing. Horvat goal is the only thing I would touch in this game I'm staying away from. Yeah, ultimately, I do think I'm going to stay off here. I just don't. I really lean with the Blues, but putting my money on the St. Louis Blues, I don't think I could do that. So, gonna stay off, but not going to be surprised if this is a low-scoring game that the Blues end up finding a way to win. But on to our next game, we've got the Utah Mammoth and the Minnesota Wild. Utah plus 125 road dogs. The Wild minus 150 home favorites. A total of 6. Here in this one. Philip Gustafsson confirmed for the Wild. Karel Vejmelka unconfirmed, but should be starting here in this game. How do these two teams do against each other? Well, Utah has won 5 games in a row against the Wild since moving from Arizona to Utah. The Mammoth 5-0-1 against the Wild. So the Wild have just had trouble with this Mammoth team, and they haven't been close recent games. The Mammoth have covered minus 2.5 goals in 4 games in a row against the Wild. It's beat down time when Utah faces the Wild. In Minnesota, in Utah, it doesn't matter. 3 games in a row between the two teams going over 6.5. Now, the Utah Mammoth are coming off. This is the second night of a back-to-back. Obviously, playing last night. So the Wild do have the rest advantage here in this game. But I can't back the Wild here against Utah. I just can't. First of all, they're minus 150, a home favorite. So out of my price range. The value is with Utah, but coming off back-to-back, a 3-2 overtime loss to Chicago in their last game. The Wild are coming off a 3-2 shootout loss to Colorado. So the Wild looking to bounce back here. I would lean with the over 6, and that's basically it here. Obviously, I'll be watching this game as a fan and really hoping that the Wild can finally find a way to beat this Utah team, but money-wise, nothing for me here in this game. Brock Faber has a point 3 games in a row, plus 104. He's got value. Gunther, Keller, and Quinn Hughes all have points in 4 games in a row. 7 of their last 10 for Gunther, 8 of his last 10 for Keller, 9 of his last 10 for Hughes, all parlay pieces here. Kaprizov has scored in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 115. I was thinking about Kaprizov anytime goal, but at plus 115, not value there. Gunther has scored in back-to-back games, plus 190. He is heating up, so watch out for Gunther. And then assist streaks, Faber, 3 games in a row, plus 140. Clayton Keller, 3 of his last 5 games, plus 130, with an assist here in this one. Snuggerud has a point 3 of his last 4, plus 122. Other dudes traded away. He's been on the top line, power play 1, taking full advantage. Has a goal in each of his last 2 games, plus 310. All right, like it. Yeah, he looked good in the last game for sure. Islanders under 2.5 goals for plus 130. That's interesting. That is interesting. The way Hofer is playing right now, I can see that cashing. Or it could be if the Islanders do, where if these two teams do go to overtime 2-2 as I predict, and the Islanders get that win, then you would lose. But otherwise, I think that's great value at plus 130. I do. Not much value, but Kaprizov anytime goal, Faber assists. This has some of my favorite line combos. There you go, Captain Bry. Logan Cooley has scored the first goal in each of the Mammoths' last 2 games against the Wild. All right, so watch out for Logan Cooley here tonight. But on to our next game, 2 more games left. Then we'll get to rest of the games on the slate segment and then the best bet segment. The Vegas Golden Knights plus 125 road dogs. Dallas minus 150 home favorites. And a total of 6 here in this one. Jake Onger confirmed for Dallas. Kira Schmid unconfirmed for the Vegas Golden Knights here in this one. How are these two teams doing recently? The Vegas Golden Knights coming off back-to-back 4-2 losses. They have really struggled recently overall heading into this game. Vegas, bear with me for a second, have lost 5 of their last 6 games and 10 of their last 14. They've given up at least 4 goals in 3 of their last 5, 4 of their last 7. Struggling to win games because they're not getting quality goaltending. Dallas, they're 11-0-1 in their last 12 games. Had that 5-4 shootout loss against Colorado, bounced back with a 4-3 overtime win against Chicago in their last game. And the Stars have at least 4 goals in 9 of their last 11 games. The Stars have also won 3 games in a row between these two teams, scoring at least 4 goals in all 3 games. The over 6.5 cashing in all 3 games, and back-to-back games going to overtime between these two teams. Give me the team total over 3.5. I got plus 110. I saw plus 125 at one spot earlier on. So definitely shop your odds, shop your lines here, get the best odds. But the Stars scoring at will right now. Vegas really struggling. I was kind of expecting this to be more in the minus 120, minus 130 range for the Stars team total. But because we're getting the 6 plus 100 there for the over, that's why we're likely getting value with the team total. But I like it. I like it a lot. Dallas team total over 3.5 here in this one. 2-unit play for me over on the site. Looking at point props here with value, Jason Robertson over 1.5 points, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 164. Maverick Bourque has a point 4 games in a row, 8 of his last 10, minus 102. He's been very hot for the Dallas Stars. Mitch, no value, and that's basically it for value. Justin Hurricane has a point back-to-back games for Dallas, plus 199. He's been a very good rookie for the Stars. Goal scoring, not a lot of big streaks right now heading into this one. And then assist streaks, again, not a whole lot of consistency. Robertson, 4 of his last 5 games with an assist, minus 115 here in this game. But we'll go to the chat here. Wild games, 15-0 to the over 1.5 goals in the third period, minus 220. Fine parlay piece. There we go. So goals late. Eichel assist, Marchessault goal, says Robert. We used to bet that a lot, didn't we, Robert, in that one playoff series? Money. Did we ever make money? I know you remember that. Wyatt Johnston over 2.5 shots. Think Exotic said last night 4 or 5 head-to-head. Okay, let's look here. Shots on goal. Wyatt Johnston. More than just that. Johnston has at least 3 shots on goal in 9 of his last 10 against the Vegas Golden Knights. 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 8, 3. Yes. I can see why you and Exotic like that. That's he's been shooting the puck a lot against Vegas for whatever reason. Montreal and Wild moneyline parlay plus 170. Okay, interesting. Heiskanen assist and Johnston anytime goal. Best of luck, Captain Bry. Over 5.5, minus 122. Not bad. I like that because Auditor has not been at his best form either this season. He's struggled at times. So 5.5 minus 122. I like that a lot. Marner has 18 assists in 17 games versus Dallas. All right, watch out for Marner. Vegas are 1-16 in the last 17 games against teams in a playoff position. They beat the Red Wings. Wow, 1-16. So they just can't beat good teams, obviously. Jack Eichel over 3.5 shots on goal, plus 120. Dorfe a point, minus 105. All right, best of luck, Captain Brian. Best of luck. But we'll continue along with our last game on the slate before I get to the rest of the games on the slate segment and then the best bet. The Edmonton Oilers and the Colorado Avalanche. The Oilers plus 145 road dogs. Colorado minus 170 home favorites. And a 7. Total of 7 here in this one. We did see quite a few 7s last year in the NHL, but this year, not as many totals at 7. Looking at previous games here between these two teams, the road team has won 4 in a row. So home ice recently hasn't been a thing here for these two teams. Previous games with the 4 overs, 1 under, 1 push for a total of 6. For a total of 7, 3 overs, 2 unders, and 1 push. Back-to-back games over 8.5 between these two teams. So I totally understand why this game is at a 7. It makes sense that it's at a 7 here. The Edmonton Oilers are coming off an under, which we don't see very often at all, which was against Vegas. They beat Vegas 4-2. The Avalanche had that 5-4 shootout win against Dallas, then a 3-2 shootout win against Minnesota. Colorado's in their last 5 games have only gone over 7 once. That game against Dallas. The other 3 all went under. So when I look at this one here, I do think we get goals, but there's just no value with the over. The road team is 4-0 in the last 4, but I could totally see that ending here. I'm not going against the Colorado Avalanche. It looks like Mackenzie Blackwood is likely to start, and he has not been as consistent as Wedgwood. So if you like the over, you probably do want Blackwood in net. Connor Ingram, unconfirmed here in this game. Looking at player props here with guys with value. Matthias Ekholm has a point in 6 games in a row, 7 of his last 10, plus 226 just to get a point. He's been very, very productive on the blue line for the Edmonton Oilers. McDavid has over 1.5 points in 4 of his last 5 games. He's been hot recently. Goal streaks, Draisaitl 4 of his last 5 games, plus 150. And then 5 players have scored in 3 of their last 5 games. Zach Hyman, Vasily Podkolzin, Martin Necas, Nathan McKinnon, and Cale Makar. Power play point streaks, Draisaitl, Bouchard, both 4 of their last 5 games with the power play point. And then assist streaks, Bouchard, Ekholm, Bouchard and McDavid both have 7-game assist streaks, 9 of their last 10, but would have to be parlay pieces. Ekholm has an assist in 6 games in a row, plus 298. So if you're looking for value player prop wise in this one, it's Ekholm. And actually, if the assist prop is plus 298 and the point prop is plus 226, I would go with the point prop here. Just in case he does score, you cash a plus 226. So, yeah, if I was getting to a prop here, because usually, and it's funny with these two teams, these are the two teams where it's incredibly difficult to find value with player props. McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, always really pricey. McKinnon, Makar, Necas, always really pricey. So the battle of the 2 pricey player props. Both of these two teams, I rarely get to player props just because there's usually no value. So that's the case here. And we'll see what happens here with this one. Terry, here you go with the 6-7 again. Oh, Boog, here you go. Here you go, starting that. Stats on Necas. Necas here. scored in 3 of his last 4 games, 4 of his last 7 against the Oilers. Yeah, that's basically about it. Not super consistent. Not on a big streak at all. Cale Makar, anytime goal. He's been hot recently. Avalanche 30+ shots on goal and 6+ total goals is plus 150. All right, that's an interesting way to go about it. Plus, that's pretty good odds, Brandon. I like that. Interesting combo. Pinkashian, McDavid, Bouchard assist parlay today. It's plus 104. Not bad because they're facing the Avs. That's why you're getting plus money with it today for sure. Ekholm assist plus 290. Good play, Captain Bry. The draw? I could see it. I could see a close one here. And Blackwood is confirmed. All right, there we go. Charles laughing. Probably a boog in his 6-7 stuff, but yeah, it is what it is. We'll go on to the rest of the games on the slate segment because it is a 13-game slate, so I've not broken down every game. Calgary and the New York Rangers. Calgary 9-2-1 in the last 12 games between the two teams. 5 unders and 1 push to a total of 6. And if it was just Durkin here starting, I would be looking at the under possibly. But if you look at both of these two teams, the Rangers are the last 4 games, 5-4, 6-2, 6-3, 6-2. The Flames, 6-1, 4-1, 5-4, 7-3. Yes, very low scoring games between these two teams, but I could not look at an under here, especially with Jonathan Quick starting in net for the New York Rangers. That being said, I don't want to take the over either, so it's ultimately a pass, which is totally fine. But I would kind of lean with the Flames, to be honest. I would. But again, kind of like the Blues, don't really want to put my money on the Flames. Player prop-wise, Vladislav Gavrikov did have his goal streak ended in the last game. They originally gave him the goal, but then they switched it. He has a point in 5 games in a row, plus 176. Definitely value there. Ryan Strome has a point in 3 games in a row for the Flames. And Trocheck has an assist in 5 games in a row, plus 100 here in this one. Detroit and Florida. Detroit 3-2 in the last 5 meetings. 8 of the last 9 going under 5.5. So usually very low scoring games between the Red Wings and the Panthers. Ultimately, nothing really interests me here in this one. Let's see here. Point streaks with value, not a whole lot. Goal streaks, DeBrincat, Sam Bennett, 3 of their last 5 games heading into this one. And DeBrincat, Kopp, and Seider, all an assist in 3 of their last 5 games. But yeah, as I said, not a lot of consistency here in this one. Pittsburgh and Carolina. Carolina, 9-2-1 in the last 12 meetings. The home team, 8-1 in the last 9. For a total 6, 1 over and 2 pushes. The previous 6 games all went under 6.5. 3 of the last 7 going overtime between the two teams. Here in this one, I did have Carolina team total over 3.5 written down on my sheet, but it was around minus 140. So there was just no value there with the Hurricanes team total. I do think the Hurricanes win this game. I do think they score some goals. And I really do lean with the over 6.5 as well between the two teams, but ultimately did not get to it. Player props here in this one with value. Taylor Hall as a point in 4 of his last 5, plus 120. Brian Rust, 4 of his last 5 games, minus 111. Erik Karlsson, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 100. K'Andre Miller, 3 games in a row, plus 150. And Igor Chenikov, Ricard Raquel, both back-to-back games with points. And then assist streaks. Taylor Hall, Seth Jarvis, Sebastian Aho, and K'Andre Miller, all 3 games in a row with assists, all different odds. Shop your lines. And Anaheim and Winnipeg. Anaheim 4-0-1 in the last 5 meetings between the two teams. 3 of the last 5 going over 6.5. 3 of the last 4 going to overtime. Lots of overtime games between Anaheim and the Winnipeg Jets. And if you look at the Winnipeg Jets recently, they've gone to overtime in, I believe, 5 of their last 6. Bear with me for a second here. 5 of their last 6 games, they've gone to overtime, and 6 of their last 8. So the Jets have been a huge overtime team, and the Ducks have gone to overtime in 2 of their last 5 games. So if you're looking for another draw on the slate, Anaheim, Winnipeg, a great spot for it. The Jets have won 3 games in a row heading into this one. 3-2 overtime win against Chicago. Not that impressive. 4-1 win against Tampa, which was nice, but Tampa's struggling overall. And then a 3-2 overtime win against Vancouver. We've talked about beating Vancouver in overtime. Not impressive. So now Winnipeg faces this Anaheim team who is off an awful loss in their last game. So don't be surprised to see higher scoring game, likely goes to overtime, and Anaheim probably gets the job done. And then the final game of the night is Nashville-Seattle. Pass. Seattle 4-2 in the last 6 meetings, 3 of the last 5 going under 5.5. I lean with Seattle here just because they need to win this game. It doesn't mean they will. They've lost back-to-back games heading into this one. 3-2 against St. Louis and then 7-4 against Ottawa. So the Kraken will look to bounce back. They've got Nashville here. Probably a good spot to bounce back, but ultimately not getting to anything. And then I realize now I just skipped Anaheim for player props. Cutter Gauthier has scored in 4 of his last 5 games, of course, but has not scored against Winnipeg in his career. Mark Scheifele scored in 3 games in a row, plus 175. And then Connor has an assist in 4 of his last 5, minus 130. Not a lot of value there. And final game of the night, player prop wise, Luke Evangelista points in 4 of his last 5 games, minus 103. And then assist streaks, Stamkos, Yossi, and Eberle, all 3 of their last 5 games with an assist heading into this one. Breeze through the chat, and then we'll get to no. Lean with the Blues, just can't quite get there. Carolina over 6, minus 115. I could see that. Cousins goal and Bertuzzi point would have cashed. Oh no, GSF. I feel sorry. Yeah, I was really hoping Cousins would score, but Eberle on a 6-game scoring streak on Tuesdays. Anybody think they're anything to this trend? Personally, I don't really look at the day of the week. Obviously, you looked at Caulfield Saturday nights, but that's a little bit different of a situation Saturday nights. But hey, there we go. If he does well on Tuesdays, there you go. Hoping someday I could come here and tell you I hit. Hey, that would be really nice. Wish you luck. Remember me when you win. No, I'm kidding. Best bet is Perfetti over 2.5 shots on goal plus 115. He's achieved this in 9 of his last 10 games. Great stat, Captain Bry. Love it. Oh, minus 125. Okay. Yesterday it was minus 140 when I was looking. So that's much better value, Robert. I like it. Ducks money line plus 122. Definitely value. Great job, Terry. I like that Stars team total over 2. Awesome, Gumsy. Awesome. Anyone like Scheifele goal? He's been hot. Parlay of the day, Stars, Robertson, Johnston, Heiskin, and Point parlay. All right. Oilers team total over 3.5 plus 120. Great show, mate. Thanks, Charles, but we're not quite done yet. We've got the best bet segment. And I already told you guys it was a 2-unit play. So obviously, if I have a 2-unit play and everything else is 1 unit, the best bet should be the 2-unit play, which is my favorite bet of the day that I gave out on the show. Give me Dallas team total over 3.5, which I got plus 110. It's much better odds now. Shop your lines, get the best odds. Just need the Stars to score 4. Just need to get 4 goals against the Vegas Golden Knights, who have definitely been giving up quite a bit of goals here. Jared McCann has scored a goal in 3 of the Kraken's last 4 games against the Predators. All right. I like it. Woohoo! I'm glad I'm on your best bet. Love to see it, Captain Bry. Love to see it. But that's today's show. Thank you for watching. If you're looking for premium plays, head over to picksandparlays.net. Get the special between me and Trent Betts, all of our NHL plays for a full week for $70. And then we'll get to the last comment and finish off the show. Thanks, Charles. Best of luck tonight, everyone. And there will be a show tomorrow, only 2 games, so a much shorter show. Why is there 13 games today, 2 tomorrow? I don't know. That's NHL schedule makers for you. Best of luck to everyone today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys.